Sup. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Yugi514 here. I'm here with a deck profile for you guys. This is Shadoll Blue Eyes. Yeah, I know, I'm bringing a Blue Eyes deck and not Ryu. That's kind of strange, isn't it? Anyway, for those who don't know, Shadolls is a new archetype coming out in Advent. Just recently got on DN. Think Sunday, Easter Sunday. Hopefully you all had a great Easter. And I pretty much spent almost the entire day just testing Shadolls. Different variants of Shadolls, and Blue Eyes was one of them. And I feel the deck is ready. Now, the thing is, DevPro has not, at the time of recording this video, DevPro has not updated with the new support from Advent. So I cannot get DevPro duels for you guys right now. But I have been testing on DM. The deck's been working well. So don't worry, I have tested this. But I have a question for you guys real quick. I want to bring duels of this deck to you guys, but would you rather wait for DevPro to update and I get replays for you guys, or would you rather me do a couple of duels on DN, live commentary, and then, send it to Ray and he uploads it like that? Now, of course, there's no telling when he will upload this. By the time this is uploaded, DevPro could have updated, but I want to know what you guys kind of want me to do. It's up to y'all, but either way, I will bring duels of this deck to you guys. But I kind of want to leave that decision up to y'all. But without further ado, let's get started with the deck profile. And of course, we'll explain the cards, what they do, and why I'm playing certain numbers of certain cards. So first off, we have triple Shadow Hedgehog. Now all the Shadows are spellcasters, and all of them have flip effects. And the same thing is, all Shadows have the effect of you can only use one of their effects per turn, and only once that turn. So you can't just spam both their effects. It gives them a nice little limitation. So Hedgehog's effect is when he's flipped face up. You can add one Shadow, spell, or trap card from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add one Shadow monster from your deck to your hand, except for himself. So this basically the Shadows of the deck. It's a nice good first turn set, which will allow you to basically add your main spell card, which is Shadow Fusion, to your hand. So this is the reason why you want to run 3 of them. Next up, we're playing the Shadow Falcon. If this card is flipped face up, you can target one Shadow monster in your graveyard, except for himself, and special summon that monster in face down defense position. Now, Falcon is also a tuner monster, so you do have a level 2 tuner. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard in face down defense position. Great way to get field presence, another good way to abuse the spell card Shadow Fusion. Next up, we have 3 Shadow Lizard. It is 1800 attack, 1000 defense, so we're getting some pretty high attack power monsters here now. If this card is flipped face up, you can target one monster on the field, destroy that monster. Very good first turn stat as well, just like the Hedgehog. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can send one Shadow card from your deck to the graveyard, except for Shadow Lizard. That's also another really nice way to search with Hedgehog, and with some of the cards in this deck, you can essentially deck them your deck by 3 or 4 cards in one turn. It's really not that hard. Lizard is a key part of that, and the fact that you can send a card opens up a lot of future plays with future Shadow cards that may come out in future sets. Then we're playing 3 Shadow Dragon. It has a 1900 attack, which is really nice, and 0 defense if you so wish to play. If you want to play Mass Chameleon. If this card is flipped face up, you can target one card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one spell or trap card on the field and destroy that target. So it's basically your MST, your Lyle of the deck, if you so wish to call it that. And it's a really good card, and it's really nice to get some nice background out the way and just basically go for your plays. Shadow Dragon is typically what you like to fuse with, along with the Shadow Lizard, but all of them have their benefits when they're used for fusions. Finally, we're using one Shadow Beast. I typically like to play 2 Beasts, but because of this is the Blue Eyes variant, I had to make room for Blue Eyes cards, so Beast had to be dropped from 2 to 1, but it's still a really fantastic good card, and he is always awesome. If this card is flipped face up, you can draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can draw 1 card. This is smart deck dating. Shadow Beast is pretty much a pseudo-graceful charity, which is pretty nice. So it's a great card to get with Falcon's effect to set him if you're using Falcon's first effect. Flip summon him on your next turn, or if someone decides to attack into him, you can just get free cards for no reason, and he allows you to pretty much benefit off of the other Shadow monsters by discarding them. Now for the blue-eyes part, we have 3 blue-eyes white dragons, 3 mating with blue eyes, and 2 white stone of legend. Now the white stones are not all that needed because of the fact that, well, they're mainly going to be used for the Shadoll fusions. The blue eyes aspect is mainly here just to get the light, get the fusion of cards light monsters. But we also have the mating here just for added defense and to go for typical blue eyes plays, such as the Azure Eyes White Dragon. Or not, Azure Silver Dragon, my bad, not White Dragon. But basically what you want to do is basically Shadoll Fusion with the White Stone. You can search a White Stone, get your benefits off of the your Shadow monsters, and pretty much just really deckling your deck. It's really nice. And it makes blue eyes a lot less dead in your hand if you draw it. You can play trading if you don't wish to, but I wouldn't recommend it with only 3 targets. Instead of cards consonants, you only have 2 targets, at least I do, so it's not really recommended. Next up is the Black Glass Soldier. Since we have light and dark, so it's like a chaos deck. BLS is a great surprise for your opponent, and if you're running out of cards, just have a nice 3k beast to go in the field that can attack twice and banish monsters is always a plus. Next up for spells, we have Shadoll Fusion times 3. This is one of the key cards of the deck, and it's very, very powerful. You can only activate 1 Shadoll Fusion per turn. Fusion summon 1 Shadoll Fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or your side of the field as fusion materials. If your opponent controls a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can also use monsters from your main deck as fusion materials. Yeah, this is a pretty powerful card, considering since it's really, really common for your opponent to have a monster summoned from the extra deck. Unlike back in the day when fusions were the thing, it was very uncommon to have monsters from the extra deck, because nobody really used fusions back then. I'm talking before GX. Not during the Cyber Dragon and all that stupid shit era, but really, really powerful card, and it's recyclable because of the fusions, which I'll get to that in a second. Then we have the Allure Darkness. You have a bunch of dark monsters, so why not play Allure for extra draw power? Foolish Burial, very nice card, gets the deck going, since they combo off of card effects, it's always nice. We also have a Dark Hole and double MST, basic spells right there, and 2 Forbidden Lands. The lands are there just to combo off Maiden and to protect my monsters from spell and traps. Pretty much the only reason, but you can go offensive at lands with the all-powerful Maiden to go for Azure Eyes. For the traps, you have the 1 Silent Warning, the Bottomless Chapeau, Compulse, Torrential, double Mirror Force, and then double Phoenix Chain. Now that is it for the main deck. Now one of the side effects, one of the drawbacks to the Shadolls is the fact that they do run out of the deck pretty quickly because your deck didn't a whole lot. Your deck can get down, so you can get down low pretty fast. So you have to be very careful, be very mindful of what you're using, and basically pay close attention to your deck so you don't run out of targets or so you don't deck out by accident. It can happen. Like one duel, I was down to 8 cards and my opponent had 15 cards left in his deck. Like, I was almost out of cards. I almost decked out. I ran out of Shadow monsters. So using things like MRL or Pot of Duplicity are sort of helpful because of the fact that they allow you to recycle your deck with targets for Shadolls and your Shadoll Fusion, so it's always nice. Now for the extra deck. The extra deck is kind of clogged right now, so I'm kind of limiting my options. We have 3 El Shadow Nephilim. She is pretty much the heart and soul of the deck. This is a really powerful card. It requires 1 Shadow monster plus 1 light monster. It has 2800 attack and 2500 defense. And it's also level 8, so you have Felgron plays. Must first be fusion summoned, so you can revive it if you properly fusion summon her. If this card is special summoned, you can send 1 Shadow card from your deck to your graveyard. Great way to deck in your deck with by Shadolls. If this card battles a special summoned monster, at the start of the damage step, destroy that monster, so it's a walking catastrophe. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 Shadow spell or trap card in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. This is how you recycle your Shadow fusions for more fusion plays. This is pretty much Heroes 2.0, but in my opinion, it's better than Heroes because of the fact that heroes can't really fully effectively recycle things like polymerization, miracle fusion. Like, they can recycle poly, but of course it adds to inconsistency using Rottweiler and stuff like that. So that's why you don't typically see that in actual hero decks. But this basically adds consistency in re-adding your field spell, your fusion spell card, because like you're getting rid of a monster, but you can just make another one, so it's not that big of a deal. Then we have 3 El Shadow Midrash. This card is amazingly powerfully good. Only 2200 attack and 800 defense, but it does require a Shadow monster plus a Dark monster. So pretty much using 2 Shadows is good. Or if you're using Super Poly against maybe a Dark Bolt deck, you can easily get this out. Now, like Nephilim, I always forget the name. You know, it must first be Fusion Summon. This card cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Neither player can special summon more than once per turn. This is a really powerful effect, but shuts down a lot of decks. You can't one-on-one it, you can't go Noble Swarm, you can't do any of that shit, because of the fact that it just says, no, 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 no. If you special summon that turn already, you cannot special summon again. It's a really powerful card, and it does shut down a lot of plays. I have shut down Infernities with this card. I have shut down Dragon Lures with this card. I have shut down a lot of decks with this card because it's just that powerful of a card. Hell, you can even shut down Evil Swarms with this card because they can't Mirror Force it, they can't Torrential it, they can't Bottomless it. You know, and hell, you can't Warning it because you have to hit the spell and not the monster. So it's just a lot of different things you can do with Midrash, which is pretty nice. And also, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one Shadow spell or trap card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. Same thing with Nephilim there. It's the same thing. Now, before I move on with the rest of the extra deck, I want to make a quick note on my feelings towards how this archetype is going to follow through in terms of its fusions. I really feel like this archetype is going to follow the same path as heroes, in terms of they're going to get fusions that require a Shadow monster plus a certain attribute. So, as of now, I don't feel pure Shadows is a viable option, but in the future, probably in the next couple of packs, it will be, because of the fact that they can easily abuse Super Poly and just plus off it like no tomorrow. So, definitely keep a lookout. If you're a fan of fusions, you should definitely check this archetype out. It's a lot of fun, and it's only going to get better as time moves on. And I also like the fact that they're all based off Hidden Arsenal monsters, which is pretty cool. Sort of like Heroes 2.0 and Evil Swarms 2.0, if you kind of see where I'm going at with that. Then we have 3 Azurai Silver Dragon, really easy to bring out in the deck. We have a Catastor and an Armades. Of course, because we have Falcon, he's a level 2 tuner. We have Hedgehog, who's a level 3 monster. And it's always nice to have these cards on field. Now we also have a Vulcan the Divine, because again, Falcon plus the level 4 monsters is always good to make Vulcan. And Morel, because you need to recycle, you never know. Felgrand and the Thunder End Dragon for rank 8 plays. Felgrand is too good, and Thunder End is too good because you can't get 2 Blue Eyes on the field. It's not that difficult. But mainly going to go for Felgrand because you're going to have Nephilim and Blue Eyes on the field. And don't worry about sending Nephilim because you'll get the effect. As long as it's sent there by a card effect, it doesn't have to be from the field, you'll get her effect to add back to the hand. So you can easily make another one. And plus, if you have Azurais on the field, you can easily get Blue Eyes White Dragon to the field. It's really not that difficult, and it's really easy. But overall, that is Shadow Blue Eyes, a really good deck. It works very well. Shadow to Blue Eyes have a great synergy because of Nephilim and just the amount of deck thinning. Now, I did mention you could deck it a lot by 3 or 4 cards. I want to tell you how real quick, and then I'll end it off with that. So all you need to do is basically Shadow Fusion. Use this to fuse with the White Stone of Legend, and basically pretty much any Shadow monster. It doesn't really matter which one. So basically, White Stone Legend with any Shadow monster. Just don't do your Lizard or Hedgehog, because there's a reason why. Then you summon Nephilim. Now you have Nephilim's effect and White Stone's effect. White Stone will add the Blue Eyes White Dragon to your hand. Now, with Nephilim effect, you send Lizard to the graveyard. Lizard effect, you send Hedgehog to the graveyard. Hedgehog's effect, you add another Shadow monster from your deck to your hand. So you essentially added Blue Eyes, sent Lizard, sent Hedgehog, added Shadow. 4 monsters out of your deck. 4 cards deck thinning in 1 turn. And if you also have a maid in your hand, you have a normal summon, you get a free Azure Eyes to your feud if you have Forbidden Lance in your hand. So it opens up possibly even more deck thinning if you want to extend Blue Eyes from the deck. So you can essentially deck thin by 5 cards in a turn, but you're basically main dude by 4. It's a really, really nice little combination there, and it's just like, you can really deck thin harder than Light Swords at times. It's really crazy. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Shadoll is really fun. I will have more Shadow content up on my channel, because I'm going to be having a lot of fun with this deck, with a lot of different variants. It's going to be a lot of fun, so come check that out. And definitely continue to subscribe to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council for more decks, random decks, Blue Eyes content, different types of decks. And yeah, so anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. And like I said, I will get duels for you guys soon on this, but like I said, DevPro still hasn't updated, but if you wanted to see some DN stuff, I'll be happy to do that instead for this time. So anyway, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.